Rotations in from Malzy. Fluorescent is here as she has been the whole round, but Governor has come in to fill the space, looking for the fight, and Crashies is the one to win it as the rest of the attackers move into the B site, meeting up with that late play from Alfier, who's been containing that deep push. So they're going to get themselves on site with double the time of last time, and this time, they've got the plan.
They've done it.
Round of applause, please. But in the meantime, Fluorescent has been able to get one back, putting things into an even scenario. Kayak in a solid position, but somewhat isolated. It doesn't seem to matter, though. Two quick and easy picks. And with Batu already dangerously low, a smoke and a nade to try and run through. This is looking like a done deal. No hope, it seems, for the Clutchmeister himself, and FNATIC, well,
they're very light buy. They've decided to push up with most of their players outside of C and a little bit of information for them on that B hit. A big blitz, but FNATIC more than ready, sitting back and letting the range of their rifles be the difference maker in those battles.
These are normally fairly easy scenarios to try and get through. I also kind of wanted to ask from your perspective. Obviously, one of these teams has stolen your assistant coach, and the other you obviously kind of struggled against when you're on focus. Is there a way that you're leaning, just in terms of personal preference, like I'd like to see this squad do well? I'm not saying you hate the other one, just so you know. I can see it in your eyes, you're like,
no. Genuinely, I'd love to see both of these teams do well. I think there's enough storylines. I think we're also seeing the best version this year of both of these teams currently going into this game. I think that's what makes it so genuinely interesting. From a prep perspective, from a game perspective, from an individual mechanics perspective, like you said about someone like Boaster, when you get that as well, you get that individual confidence, we start to see the sort of fantastic mid-round calling that he in particular had against Vitality. When you get some of the individual moments like Avova clutching up like he was against Team Heretics, that's when we can turn a what should be a relatively comfortable series. Oh, they did close it out in the end.
That slow, patient play that we know FNATIC 4 seems to be holding its weight in water, but the B site, they've lined up with a firing squad waiting, a trap set, and Malzy walked into it.
Has been spotted. This retake definitely not going to be easy, and you have to bear in mind this is a quote-unquote bonus round.
Back into the salvo, barely holding on to life as Kayak, but with the showstopper online, 3 HP, you're not likely to use it in a 5v2, turn 5v1. Definitely not the time to deploy any ultimates. It should be an easy conversion. Batu trying his best, but too many numbers.
Your team.
This makes me a little nervous. The aggressive push-up. I do think as well, FNATIC have been doing well to clear things out and
be cautious of a play outside of A. A lot of utility blocking them off there between smokes and the Viper wall. So they're committing a lot of players to re-clearing that info, while the rest of the map is taken over by FNATIC.
What's that?
Lotus in particular, we know that when they get that confidence going, when they get the economy to back them as well, they can put on an absolute masterclass.
Seems like for this round we may already be there. Solid flash, but the shot, the damage done onto Kayak I don't even think was him. So yeah, this so far hasn't worked. Kayak is walking through the snake fight. Absolute lunatic, gets punished, but this almost keeps players on the other side of the map. You've got the hold from Governor. Potentially going to try and deny with the salvos, but that denial will not do enough. Crassy's position is so aggressive, it's not expected by Avova.
No. And now we're in a really, a much more difficult position. I thought Crashies would turtle, come back to the rest of the squad, play the post plant, but he swings out wide, catches a player on stairs, and leaves this in a position. I mean, 4-0, looking at a 5th round for FNATIC, and with the rifles in play, an operator still in their hands, they might have wanted to hold on to those for the...
Going to stun that position.
Got to get a lot more proactive, and okay, it's expected on an eco round like this, but when we get into the fight, we need a bit more aggression like that. We leave in there with a rifle just to defend that operator, just to continue that economic advantage they have over Apeks.
The stun was good, but the shot's not quite there. A better one. Batu already has ult, and Avova's orbs not worth that much, but the economic advantage that FNATIC have make it tempting to try to remove some more of these weapons. So far, that has been a struggle. There's one at least, but here comes Alpha to lock it in. Now, will they get the op out of Governor's hands? He was saving the same position last time, and he saw Alpha last time, but this time he takes him down.
See already the chase. Credits on the majority of players, almost at maximum. A couple of nice flicks. Have been winning without their own. And that's probably the more worrying prospect. Boaster has just teleported through the utility, but then Avova just TPs up top. not exactly expected. I think he's escaped the showstopper as well, so a huge amount of damage with ults, and then the stun combined.
Exactly, and that's what we're looking for out of Apeks now. What have you got that you can take it to FNATIC with?
Careful.
Watching here.
How much does
That one's
Kayak
free.
have?
That one's free.
Okay.
Fluorescent's not missing that shot. I would have bet my hand over.
I seem to remember one on Icebox B main. He had quite a good job of clutching up against a certain team in a certain grand final, I think.
Well, it is.
Those clears. I think the Prowler usage that comes out from Crashes is integral, but this one has left a gap. They're aware of it, but it doesn't matter.
Very clean engagement. The lurk out here from Chronicle set to meet Avova any moment now. Waits on the other side. Alfier's bot had delayed him as Alpha takes that kill on B. At this point, it seems clear Alpha's the lurk. The C hits where it's coming in, and that's why Avova's still poking his head up. That
So around the never was. They got so much information about where two of these players are. Even going to put the lockdown in. Don't mind it. It's going to force them into an awkward position. Cycle those ultimates back. From this stage, Batu should be screwed and eventually will be for floor again.
would have been a reasonable choice for them. So you really do expect that Apeks have something up their sleeve. Same comp comes in, and you're like, okay, how are you going to run it? Not like that. Kayak's already ahead, not even hit by the paranoia, and easily eliminating Avova. Again, that A site is blown wide open, and it feels like this defense from Apeks it's like looking at leaves in the wind. They are just being thrown about by the gust of FNATIC.
What is different now, what they are changing up within this same default they've been keeping, is now this double B main push. They're closing out that option, but they've still given them a 1v1.
Yeah, I think the second man got lost, of the Dimensional Drift Rolling Thunder, but when you're in a 3 versus 5, the gamble doesn't seem worth the risk. They know the Kayak's here, they heard a bullet or two connect, and the response is there. Not bad from Batu. That pull just watching as all of this utility goes, they'll wait it out, and then look to re-clear it moments later.
And the only time they did in the Armageddon came in to greet them alongside a stun, so understandable. This time a little bit of a switch up with Fluorescent and Malzy pushing. It's been Avova dropped towards A for a couple rounds. They swap it up, they put the op there, early aggro, deleted immediately, and FNATIC, they're not even breaking a sweat on this
They didn't
push.
even use a Prowler in the initial clear. They were so confident in winning those fights that they sent basically no util. They just dry cleared and used them later on in the round. This is just a sweep. They were talking about waves, right? Well, this has turned into a tsunami and their opponents are getting washed away.
Yeah, and hoping to flood back in here, perhaps a chance. Two players with 2 picks, but it's Avova low HP and dealt with by Alpha Batu, the last man standing, 3 to pick up. Waiting for that initial contact and swinging together. He does well to isolate a fight, but Alpha is look at the extremities of the map though. Poster is sitting outside C. You've got a late lurk as well by Crashies. They know that they're likely to hit a bunch of these ultimates on their way through or on Apex's way back in. And so the solution is to send out those extremity plays, but Boaster being caught limits their options somewhat. 12 seconds left. Plant is actually found. The ult from Fluorescent not landing. Alpha maintains control, but it's stolen away by Governor. 2 quick op shots, and it's back into Apex's favor. We've not seen them with this level of an advantage since that ult from Governor, and again, he is the difference maker, but Crashy's on the late lurk. Kayak with another. The defuse underway, though! And by a fraction of a... Perhaps this series 9-2. Apeks, they've won 2 rounds that feel like flash in the pan. Now we need to see them really start to cook with gas, and it's Avova opening it up, but the immediate response is there. Luckily, Batu had taken quite an aggressive position, and possibly the deepest Viper ultimate that I've seen put into play here on Lotus, past Mound,
just to slow
and he's
them
just
down.
bailed out, yeah.
I think he thought he was being rushed. Instead, he's being flanked. He does seem to have a decent idea on it, though. Catching a couple eventually will be cleared, but there's another player that they had to look for. Leaving Crashies alone in the clutch. Now, one off a Nightfall. Will be garnered by the plant. Knows that there's nobody close, although, well, the plant has been delayed. This could make this a much more problematic scenario with 2 players already coming in on the flank. He's going to have to get this bang on. Solid utility immediately thrown out, but they are behind him. It's at least a small recovery for Apeks, who have still got a long way to go.
As long as there's no PC issues again here, then we should get the defuse. It should be 3 at the end of the half.
Still seem fully committed to this side of the map, and there are, well, two, maybe even a third player about to wrap in. The salvos will make it awkward, but actually Boaster goes forward, takes things into his own hands. That's a huge start.
He really is shooting, isn't he? A double opener, and then the hope here from Apeks that the Viper wall alongside the door open on A would drag rotations. It has not worked out. Not even a sliver of hope on that C push, but they'll go back to it again. Opening the door to B, trying to drag rotates and dropping Boaster. Okay, a good start. Malzy, even in for another. That's him, I think, tripling his kills already. A confidence builder with a third! And it's Alphayer. Chronicle on the way to back him up. 8 seconds left, though. They can just throw themselves at Batu and stop this plant. Win off of time, and in fact, he sealed his fate. Both kills needed, and it's FNATIC.
Immediate reaction made it so much tougher. I like this, though. Salvo's used to section off a spot we expect players to be and even getting aggressive, but well, luckily Alphayer was ready with gun in hand. We'll keep Kayak alive. Even still, Mitch, they're doing the pay. You drop a rifle, fantastic. You can go into the next round and you can make them pay. Unfortunately here, you almost have to hope that they'll be able to win it. Well, that has not gone to plan. Malzy's pistol prowess from the last round has dissipated, and even the brand new Apeks Classic can't save them this time.
Not quite. The FNATIC Classic seems to be winning this one out. But actually, looking at how confident you can be on the map when you go back into practice, you absolutely go for it, for sure. Yeah. But if it doesn't go well, that hasn't for Fluorescent or Batu.
That's the one fight the Chronicle wanted. Having that SMG in hand didn't really allow for many other angles. And now it's the same thing. Okay, that hasn't worked. Let's just try and go back into the B site. Well, guess what? The FNATIC players are already waiting. And they're not going to overface here either. Kayak is one away from having the showstopper. This is a done deal. Like, having that ultimate in this sort of scenario should have removed Malzy from action. That's at least one, and somehow Malzy has found one more. Maybe there's some hope.
They've gotten overeager going in for those final fights, trying to force the issue. We talk about clutches of Ova essentially in one here. Malzy, 19 HP.
He hit both of
Rolling
them.
Thunder catches both. That's a lot of time running down now. It seemed to be a certainty that FNATIC would be on 12, that the map would be almost in their pocket, but now they need to fight their way back in. And the man coming into today with the highest clutch percentage was Crashies. Might not quite be a clutch in the 2v2, but it's close enough. He does well in the... Oh, it is. It really is. And like I say, Crashy's a guy that doesn't die early and often wins clutches. That's a recipe for disaster if you're up against him. Kayak going down early, but it's all
yes,
of Ova. Wise to his tricks.
You can see the response from the opponents is potentially to try and double back here, but Crashy's already waiting, sprays wildly, gets nothing, but now walking into the Lion's Den, Althea, but the flash is actually phenomenal. Leaves him completely blind.
Door open. They'll be making their way to the B site, relatively undefended. It's players that can be pushed back by utility, but Chronicle steps ahead after the stun, grabs one, that spike down, and another! A beautiful connection, but the response is there from Apeks. If they can stop this plant on FNATIC, it will be done. The nade is on its way. It might be a little bit too much to the right. No, it's spot on and Fluorescent down, but the plant just in time. Apeks still in with a chance. Some rounds have felt like a ship without a rudder, but now they'll finally need to find their direction with FNATIC coming all from one spot through the smoke, and they're put in the dirt. Left into the hands of Batu, and the spray! It doesn't land! FNATIC 13-5. This is going to be tough for Apeks. Oh, as this is delayed slightly in making the spike's way onto the site, that gives a real opportunity for those players coming up behind, and it's Batu to connect.
This is the issue, not having that classic Sentinel. Means you have to have eyes on these positions. They're going full fighting. They want to try and get rid of Fluorescent, and that's exactly what Kayak will do. The rest of the players on Apeks, though, have not just been sitting pretty, they have evened things up.
They have Althea tagged low as well, and Chronicle with the pressure on him, players all around. He's the only one on the site. They're now trying to wrap up and get Heaven control, but it's halfway diffused already from Apeks. Pressure very much on, and Chronicle, oh, it's Alpha, in fact, covering him, bailing him out of those first fights, and he will finish. Phenomenal opening on Lotus. No surprise that he's raring for a fight.
It seems similar to what we've had though before. I don't mind the idea at all from Apeks, like what they had.
The other side of that wall, FNATIC have already given away their positions. Now for FNATIC, 3 pistols coming into this round.
Yeah.
Kayak went down early. It's Alpha and Crashies who are really packing a punch, and some risks can be taken from the rest of the squad. They want to be careful not to lose too many more players. This round could get dicey, but for now, a guaranteed plant, and they're only against pistols. Ghosts on the other side.
It feels like a much riskier version of the bonus, but Apeks don't really invest much into these rounds at all.
Ability to answer the question mark, to take information behind Chronicle's Viper wall on A main, and then allow them, based on that information, to judge whether their rotations need to be towards A or towards B.
Control of Heaven, Rap coming back in through vents though. Now they're in a dangerous position. Surrounded on both sides, and a gap in the wall gives Malzy the spot to walk up. Almost took Crashies out as well, lighting him up heavy. The decay left him on 1 HP, 29 as it fades, but dropped by Fluorescent. Apeks working back through the vents, but now they're boxed in. They found themselves in their own trap as Boaster comes up behind. Makes it back out towards middle and buys the space for Kayak, but the shots don't land as we thought they would. It's Boaster to clean up, and we're back in a neck-on-neck position, but the problem is Spike up in Heaven, and 2 players still on A, where the Spike now basically has to go. They're going to run in the other direction, 12 seconds? That's a bold play, if it's even possible. I don't think they can get to the site.
Oh, they're not going to make it, even if they do. Evova's there ready and waiting to deny anything further. It's around
quite tight enough at the moment.
Something's funny with the coaches, who clearly enjoyed what went on in that round, and Batu immediately. That is just Crashies gone. We've talked about the importance of his utility, re-clearing angles, and their takes onto the site. Well, that is gone for this round.
But now they're going to have to be super aggressive in this round without that until now. And Alpha's done it again.
Yeah, he's just pulled that one back. Boaster, though, left down to 7 HP. There's some good chances for Apeks in later fights. Avova and Malzy have taken a few blows as well. The scars are showing. Kayak looking for a battle up in Heaven, but Malzy's the one to pick that up. An easy lurk as the smoke went down. And Fluorescent's got a little off angle as well. The barrel was spotted, luckily. The player was spotted just after. And so now a 4v2 with 1 on 7 HP with a Bulldog. There is a showstopper, but if it's put into this one, that might be a bit of an overinvestment.
A not-so-wise man once said that Alfie is not particularly good in clutches, so we'll have to see.
Uh-oh.
Good start. 1 down already, and with an isolated player over on the B side, showstopper is more so going to be used to garner space. I like the positioning of Avova, just holding on to this spot.
Avova's read this so well. In terms of that reaction, being able to hold on to this space advantage going into the post plan, in addition to the numbers advantage as well, it should be everything they need.
Alpha with a chance here. Oh, that was close. A few shots whizzed past their head, but Apeks easily able to close that, and Governor knew he was low. Going down with the shorty to finish Boaster off, and a defuse with 2-2 and an economy boost for Apeks as well.
It's interesting seeing FNATIC actually losing these slower.
Laura is a consistent factor, something that will change that dynamic for FNATIC, because yeah, say you do want to go for a more direct hit, you might just walk straight into an opponent. The problem, though, Governor maybe not realizing what sort of round they're in, and well, we're back to Summon FC. This is not what I expected to see.
Prawn's taking another pickup on A. There's weapons aplenty to be recovered. Blast pack through from Fluorescent, but there's a lot of numbers coming her way in the sneaky position of Alpha. Oh, shoots a little too early. Tries to take out the barrel. The player survives that engagement, but
Apeks are very quickly going to want to forget. And it really does seem like a round where I'm a little bit perplexed as to what the plan was.
Doesn't have any gate crash left to play with. He is very much stuck. And he's now being seen. Showstopper's on its way, and Kayak is out of the round. But this was all a fake, a ruse, as they move into the A site, filling the space that only Batu now occupies. Malzy will come in to cover his back.
20 seconds.
Might just get into this sneaky spot on back site with the time so low. This could be the difference maker. I thought they'd be going. They've not gone out of Heaven. The Spike needs to go. It's 10 seconds. They've got the kills, but they haven't found Batu. If he can stop this plant, he could save the round, but too late to the party. Picks up a few anyways, and it's Boaster to do it all. Running about, scared of players in the elbow, but it's Avova from Heaven to close it out. What a chaotic round, but it ends up in Apeks' hands.
It's mental. It's just crazy what went down. It's been a bit of an issue, but I like this. Dimensional drift thrown through. This will give them everything they need in terms of information. It's just whether or not Governor can find anything on the site, and the answer is no. Batu, though, actually commits the shotgun pulled out of pocket and has kept things even for now.
The plans acquired. Pit, Apeks ready to fight their way back through, but that's when the pit comes up. Chronicle playing around the edge. It's a risk, and it might not pay off here. It got dicey, but Crashies has bailed him out of a bad situation. Kayak up close, 30 HP, and he's got Avova looking the other way. Batu's the last man standing. A rifle in his hand, credits waning on his side, but even getting out of here is going to be difficult. They've gone for the push, and they'll finish him off. The shot from above.
So they can't really get there in time.
Oh, Kayak could be caught throwing that flash indeed. The timing was perfect for Governor to strike. But on the side of B, they're not getting quite so lucky. Already, you can see FNATIC will be able to get that plant in relatively free. But Apeks have their sights set on the rifle that they've dropped towards the spawn. Chronicle has a little more company than he thought that he did. Batu.
As you can have in this scenario. It doesn't look like they want to risk it here, not knowing where the players are, not having heaven control, and already caught on the cross. It will in fact be sent out by the other side, and this leaves a troublesome position now for Crashies, but he'll find both anyway.
Those goalposts seem reachable. Although with a player like Crashies lurking around, I mean, highest clutch percentage for good reason, and Chronicle's openings, they've been real
players to try and deal with him. It leaves serious gaps in the defense at the moment, a sheer 2-2 split.
See here that FNATIC, what a shot from Alfia. Again, that's what happens if you do actually send two people to war.
And we had an off this time, but it's left them in a tough position. Player down already. Fluorescent taking out the decoy, revealed on backside. All the utility on her. There was no way out for Fluorescent.
Don't give away those 50-50s.
He's on the hunt. Clear the close angle with Chronicle, I'm sure he will. And well, that's not what you wanted to see.
Fantastic peek.
The run across Malsey. Do they check back towards the spawn? It seems like they might have an idea. Chronicle.
Nice shot.
Oh, he's
finally fall.
Boaster. Oh, he's boxed him.
Normally holding it for the later round scenarios. And well, there you go. You know the operator's there. Methodical as always by FNATIC and Alpha. Just leaving it late in those mid-round scenarios. Batu's still here though. That operator deadly as ever, but you have to bear in mind that is basically the only weapon they have. The thing really on their side though is that clock starting to tick down, starting to get very late. These close corners causing issues. 8 seconds for them to get that spike down, but they've done it with a few seconds to spare.
Showstopper, and it's found one! That's the pick, but Kayak's keeping the minute. Looking to capture his inner Crashies with those big clutches. The reposition, getting ahead of the nade, might not be expected. Fluorescent's looking the wrong way! And Kayak, man.
Got here. They're obviously playing for this set retake round. Let's see what they've got with it.
Look at this nasty little position in play.
30 seconds left.
This could cause big problems. Chronicle
Spike planted.
holding that control late. Oh, I think he's going for the flank. If he wraps around on A, he'll be way too late to the party. But if he goes back to heaven now, a perfectly timed flank possible. Already though, Apeks flooding into the site.
Lovely.
Double pick from Fluorescent's nade. Well, Chronicle better hurry up. It's only Kayak left, and position given away. Governor with the push back, and Kayak, well, he is left locked out of the site, and trying just to save the weapon to the next is I suppose, the only option available to. Bolt used by Kayak. This is going to be an aggressive one. Flash already popped as Batu is just forced backwards. Kayak's on him and he's gone for it! That's a bold play.
That's rude.
It's the ones that need to make a move.
Happy to commit 2 players to the back of site. We've seen FNATIC many a time slow down. Malsey being cleared though. I don't know why it felt inevitable. I think it was just the spray through in towards that orb, but that will even things up. Boaster has got an incredible timing as well. Fluorescent is completely unaware, but he doesn't opt to push it. Doesn't know how far he's managed to get, but maybe also doesn't want to give the game away as his teammates look to rotate, but Spectre eventually will do the work, and now Fluorescent knows the game is up. They're on the B side, but just waits to see if she can catch Alfia. This pick could be everything. Having heaven control could be huge, but they left Chronicle behind, another piece exactly the same, and now Alfia pounces as well. Similarly to Lotus, just leaving a couple every once in a while in an off angle. And for Governor, well, it would need to be a mirror on others to turn the tide. Looking like very aggressive.
What?
What? Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Kayak's just been shown how it's done when you teleport into your opponent's face and find the kill anyway.
That's one way to do it. All right. Fluorescent already had a...
That can genuinely define rounds like this, and then the start of a half, or even if it comes later in a half, it can define how a map goes.
Beautiful. We talk about warming up.
Opportunities for them here. I would say the same though for FNATIC. They are a stacked up B-site defense, looking to push into these guns. That's Fluorescent already down, a rifle on the deck. This would be a horrific round to be lost, and two players have actually been caught by the C's. Potentially going to go for a little bit more here. Yeah, sure, it's only pistols, but this is incredibly dangerous.
Can get costly for FNATIC.
They didn't get the gun back, by the way.
Yeah, Apeks have left the space. They had 3 rifles coming in. Chronicle.
No one's classic is that clean. I'm sorry.
Again, it was only a ghost he's up against, but this guy is just phenomenal. And now, luckily at least, we see them go back in to fill this space. Problem is, Alfier's already got the rifle. He shows that to them plain as day, taking down Governor. And this has been an absolute disaster of a follow-up for Apeks. You talk about icebreakers. Well, I think that ice is just frozen back over.
We're in the ice age.
Credit to Milan and Scott here. That's definitely, or perhaps Boaster as well, someone within that group, someone within the leadership.
This isn't the trigger for FNATIC just yet, and when it comes through, when they step up, here comes the wall. You gotta walk through it. Alpha takes a different route, diving into the back, creates that space, but the showstopper cut off a little too early. It could have swung it back in their favor, but it looked unlikely nonetheless. FNATIC double
lost that over the last couple of days.
It's gone.
Oh, this is nice for FNATIC.
Ready. Chronicle has just looked utterly clinical. And while Fluorescent, after unfortunately using that showstopper in the last round, will have to just sit and watch the remainder crash. He's not going to overface. And this is the thing I always like with the FNATIC squad, is they're happy to sit that little bit more passive once having an advantage of over, is desperately trying to make a play into the B side. In fact, the spike is currently running all the way back through the spawn. I'm more interested in Batu.
He's got a great position. Sneaking in through heaven, and look, they're so focused on Evolva that Batu can come swinging in from above. I'll have a real chance to connect that opening duel.
That the TP's behind them as well. A rough idea of where these opponents could be. The operator not quite connecting, but the rifle has been found. Oh, Batu tagged up. A lot of additional damage. Chance for an individual fight, but doesn't know where the remainder is of Governor, who will get the timing spot on. Spot 2 players out on heaven, but the execution has begun. 15 seconds. Apeks need to make a move on. Boaster's just going to be pre-fired through.
10 seconds left.
That's the opener that they needed. Chronicle. It was a potential opportunity, but the fight's not quite going their way, or at least they won. A quick pick. Alfia not going to clear, and because of that, that double duelist strikes again. Another round.
Traction towards mid with Alpha satcheling down there into sewers. Hey guys, look, this is what we're doing on our eco round. But actually, it's all to see if Boaster can get away, can be discovered.
Oh no, there's
very bad. Sees, it's gone a little deep.
It's gone past.
Give it a chance. But luckily, he's missing the shots. The blind of the decoy saving the day. Pistols flooding back through. Don't give Chronicle the opportunities. We know he'll connect them, and another one found with Fluorescent on
side instead. I really wouldn't mind it in this case.
Forward and look for the pick, even just to add that extra cost to the economy. But
if Evolva can get there in time, this could ruin everything.
Shift walking just in time, popping down some stars, trying to buy that little bit of extra time. What? Chronicle onto Fluorescent, though. That must have been through the smoke. Yeah. And looking, but it was, we saw it indeed. And a little bit more found now from Alfier. Evolva, though, makes his presence known, but it's only for one. Still, FNATIC on their way to the site, grabbing themselves a half diffuser, trying to. The grab well comes into play. Evolva buying more time as Heaven has now seized the sprays in the smoke are good. And it's only one Boaster on the stick, and he'll get it across the. Oh, it is a stalemate inside of B main. Both players sitting just meters from each other as Governor rounds the corner, though he's the one to win the fight. With Evolva winning the Battle of the Astras, the B site seems open for business. They certainly think it is, but Kayak's rotated in early, and a double pickup puts us back to square footing. That push onto site delayed, and the reposition from Kayak, the high-low, it's not worked out. And it's Chronicle to fall with battle scars on Kayak. He's lucky to still be alive. Pressure on for Alpha with the plant now secured.
Eden will do a little bit of chip damage. That showstopper you mentioned is now online in the post, but I don't think they're going to need it. Alpha
Chronicle. And actually, FNATIC, as you're highlighting there, I believe that was you, Pal, with a little circle. They've gone for the mid push. Timing, oh, it looked like it was perfect, but Fluorescent is there to Greens of Fate. They're steering themselves towards a map 3 ascent, where we could end up very soon. Up goes Batu, there's one. Nicely done, at least grabbing an orb on his way out. A split seems to slip out of their grasp. A shot almost landed. The gate crash.
It's enough though.
Yeah.
Should be enough.
I say that.
Boaster's still here. He's picked up Fluorescent, waiting for them to come out of the smoke, but the Bulldog doesn't have that much of a bite this time. Although look who's just been spotted. They know where Avova is, and it seemed like Kayak wanted to take him down.
Both Yoru's just about escaped. Death them all, taking their time. Expecting some counter utility. The paint shell's already used, the snakebite already used, so any form of denial is already gone. Avova is going to get back around into the pit, now flashing through, waiting on the other side. It's a running shot that takes out hands of Apeks. Try and fight for control of middle. There's two players here. Chronicle is the one man I wouldn't want to face. Never mind! Batu pulling out the BS once again. A spray straight through. Now Alpha, whoa, he's spotted the cross, but hasn't denied him.
He'll go for the sneak up. They've got deep B main control, but the TP comes out and they're starting to fade away. They think that player inside the vent is signaling an A push. And so this is, map control is left wide open, looking to just compete for middle. Whoa, that's a little risky. The jump peek from Batu, but he gets out unscathed. Crashy's falling, and everything has come crashing down for FNATIC. The lead that was theirs for oh so long, and it seemed set to close this out 2-0 to lock in qualification to playoffs. But that may be a bumpier road than anticipated.
From there, really nicely done from Apeks.
I want to ask you this, because I think that obviously as casters, you're going to keep an eye on the tier 2. You're going to keep an eye on the players coming up. I can
to clear out B, Fade sent in, and oh, it doesn't quite catch Boaster.
That does.
He's still very much waiting for this player to come out of his ult.
What is that?
Find him anyways. Batu's been on one.
Oh, no one's taking that back to the training ground. That was messy, but it works out. Chronicle has immediately responded, though. FNATIC never down until they're out, and oh, they forgot about Alpha. They thought, oh, you know, he's pushed up, he's taking control, but he'll go back. No, he's actually sitting in the spawn, just chilling, just waiting for them to try and respond. Chronicle with another, and well, Alpha is going to take us to overtime. Ace from Molsey is going to try and get that little bit of hold in case they try and move back, and with a stack up on this side, it could be huge, but never mind. Kayak with an immediate opener of over on the site, needs to try and hold his ground. The timing looks good, but it's only Fluorescent to find anything. And while with seconds left, an attempt, well, a risky attempt to try and deny the spike. That was all that was really available there.
Yeah, 9 seconds.
Then we're going to go A with our double jewelers gun.
And take a look at where the gate crash is. Actually, it's just faded away. That timing perfect. Now Kayak under pressure. He gets a second gate crash out. Has a way to fall back, but takes the fight instead. At least landing one before falling. They might think that he was solo on this side. They're certainly not aware of Chronicle. They're not looking, and that's a big mistake. He only gets one for his trouble, though. And under
to just garner all of this extra space without too much resistance. That time, however, is ticking lower and lower. Just holding on to this late ground. They need to get towards the spike as quickly as humanly possible. Alfia will be there, and well, I think the time is already gone. Just rushing around will be. Mosey needs to get onto this spike. It is done. We continue in overtime. Chronicle is in this position.
It's all closed.
I don't know if Batu have any idea. And on the other side of the map, an aggressive push into B main hasn't worked out. It's a response, it's a counter. And that's now a two-player advantage for FNATIC.
Yeah, this is it. The more data that you give them, the more chance that they add the numbers up correctly. FNATIC putting the pieces to this puzzle together ahead of time. Governor trying his best, but Chronicle, we said through the smokes, he's been good. He's done it through the wall now. And Avova and Molsey left to pick up the pieces. What remains
Bova's
picture
just
that
in
looks
no
bleak.
man's land.
Bova's in no man's land. Crashies is on the flank as well. He's on his way up and not even needed. Kayak puts Molsey to bed.
Batu's setting up. We know that they're ready for Chronicle to be a little bit further back towards A main. Evova's good for one.
No, time's going. Keep going with your
They're so...
Apeks, if we go to OT again, they now need a new adaptation to that A-hold. It's being figured out.
Massive direct.
It's a wall before we get there. Kayak, one is all he's good for. And a flurry of frags for Apeks.
Denying Boaster any additional space. He's the only one with any HP remaining, and Evova's just sat on the other side with a shorty. The time at this stage is too far gone. They will now try to make that move forward. Gravwell to push him out of position. In fact, Molsey's gone down. That's a big kill from Alpha. And while again, it goes down to the last few seconds, and it never seems to go wrong.
Except for that plant on Lotus, but yeah, other than that, everything's been working out, and it will again this time.
Yeah. 3 players here.
Clear left.
Oh, Batu's
Batu.
done so well.
They have to know.
Yeah, I think they know that this is a... Oh, maybe not. It seemed like Alpha was holding the angle, but Batu looking... Crashies with the C's. And that's exactly... He's thrown the C's. He's slowed them all down. That could be the perfect piece. Utility as Kayak comes up behind. Dimensional Drift gives them all the information. Knows exactly where they are. Can hold them in position, could try and make things awkward as Crashies picks up one more. It's left all onto Batu. Has an ult of his own.
By another opportunity for Apeks, and they've just heard that shot. They know where he is. A chance to take down one, but missed the window. And Boaster fires back to seal their fate. 16